A drive along the Mohawk Trail isn't complete without some retail therapy. Shelburne Falls is home to the Salmon Falls Gallery, owned by prominent glass artist Josh Simpson. The gallery's director, Summer Litchfield.
We have illustrators, we have sculptors, we have collage artists, and we have a wide range of price points as well. Everybody here is local to New England. We shoot for having artists that are from roughly within a 50 to 75 mile radius.
One artist featured here is Chris Hill, based in the nearby village of Turners Falls.
The fact that he paints night pictures is really very different. And also, when I learned he was self-taught, it blew my mind.
Hill's path to painting took some time. He was artistic as a child, but opted for business school as an adult.
I found a small business that was selling organic fertilizers and soil supplies, and that turned into an 8-year-long career.
At one point, Hill lived next to a potato farm.
They sprayed the potato field so heavily with pesticides that we would have to close our windows and bring our pets inside. They would also spray the field at night under cover of darkness.
Those experiences would later inspire a series of nocturnal landscapes. All have a message about ecological health and sustainability.
I saw a lot of farms that were sort of toxic looking. So in my art, I want to portray the farms that are ecosystems, that have cover crops and rich, dark soil and lots of insects, a diversity of plants, natural corridors surrounding the farm to protect the wildlife.
Hill works out of his home studio in Turners Falls, which is also on the Mohawk Trail. The area teems with plant and insect life, says Hill, which helps in the creation of his art. But painting night landscapes is no easy task.
I start with a black background and the paintings get built up with hundreds of layers. It usually takes me about a year to complete each one of my large pieces.
That's because Hill doesn't paint full-time. He's also a carpenter who specializes in restoration work. But it's clear that his passion is painting with a purpose.
People know what they want out of the food that they're eating. They want to eat food from a farm that looks like a natural farm that's good for the environment, and I think that message really resonates with people.
We leave Turners Falls and head east to the only city in Franklin County, Greenfield. Visitors here have panoramic views of the Pioneer Valley by climbing Poets Seat Tower, a sandstone lookout built in 1912.
Main Street is 2A, which is a little arm off of Route 2. And if you drive right down the hill, the name of the street turns into Mohawk Trail.
Caitlin Von Schmidt is a longtime resident who works for the city. She says Greenfield's old-fashioned downtown has more than meets the eye.
Grocery store, drug store, bookstores, comic book store, record store, all kinds of restaurants. We have a 7-screen movie theater that I can walk to from my house.
In recent years, Greenfield has seen its share of tough times, but Von Schmidt says a tight-knit group of residents and business owners works hard to bring downtown to life. In 2003, Amy McMahon opened Mesa Verde, a fast casual Mexican-inspired restaurant.
I got a bank loan to open a restaurant, which is unheard of, and I have really found that people in this community are excited when somebody moves here from somewhere else. Just a lot of different eclectic people from backgrounds that you just wouldn't expect here.
One of them is Von Schmidt, a musician with an indie rock and alternative country band called the River Roses.
I think part of it is, like a lot of places like Greenfield, which is kind of scrappy and funky, it's still affordable. So people who are in the creative economy, they can move here, they have all these amenities and the charm of a really small place, but the advantages of a bigger place.
And interesting, Mesa Verde, that Mexican restaurant in Greenfield, hosts a Haitian cuisine pop-up on Sundays.
Yeah, all the food is cooked by Haitian immigrant chefs. Proceeds go towards Haitian families, particularly new migrant families to the city.
All right, still ahead, our final stop in the Chair City.